unfortunately, not every story in the NBA has been a fun one. The Philadelphia 76ers, this situation with Ben Simmons just continues to erode every single day and just deteriorates almost on an hourly basis. Yesterday was the ultimate flare-up. Ben Simmons was kicked out of practice yesterday, was suspended one game, by at least one game for now by the organization. And apparently Doc Rivers was the one who kicked him out because he asked Ben Simmons to join a defensive drill. Ben Simmons said no. Rivers asked him again, will you participate in this defensive drill? Ben Simmons said no a second time. So Doc Rivers said, the hell with you. We're kicking you out. And Simmons dropped his basketball and left. And we know already the type of feelings that the players have for him. Joel Embiid ripped him to shreds yesterday. Basically said, quote, at this point, I don't care about that man. Honestly, he does whatever he wants. Since he's been back, nothing has really changed. And we don't get paid to come out here and try to babysit somebody. So the 76ers have come out and have apparently said that their asking price hasn't changed for Ben Simmons. And I've been on record saying I've thought for weeks on end, if not longer, that Ben Simmons has to be traded and that it's a detriment to the team to keep him around. I just thought that the environment for him, I'm not sure why they're still hanging on. I mean, I understand why they're hanging on to him, but at this point, I thought they should have gotten rid of him for a while because really only there in body. He's not there in spirit. His attitude's not there. And he's there for one purpose, and that is to collect a check and not get fined. So let me first say this. The way that Ben Simmons is handling this situation is extremely immature. It's unprofessional. He's acting like a petulant and whiny child. And that's not how a disgruntled star should behave. So at this point, I don't take any issue in Joel Embiid coming out saying, the hell with this guy. I have no problem with Doc Rivers feeling extremely frustrated and saying the hell with you in practice. My issue isn't with those actions. That's never been my issue. And so I understand that Doc Rivers and the organization, to a certain degree, were trying to kind of ingratiate Ben Simmons back within the organization. Perhaps at least enough, then ship him off when he's feeling a little bit more upbeat, potentially. Maybe it's a facade. Regardless, my problem is that if you know you have this situation where a toxic environment clearly either exists or will exist the second you put someone in that situation like Ben Simmons, well, then just avoid that situation altogether. I don't think that the way that they were handling him coming back into the facility and into this practice, regardless of whether or not they knew it or not that he was coming, to me was the improper way of handling the situation. If you've got a child who struggles with anger management and you enter him into a psychiatric facility, the parents pay exorbitant amounts of money for him to be in special therapy sessions, and the kid says either I don't want to go to the therapy sessions, or while in the therapy sessions is forced to engage and participate, or they ask him to participate in different exercises. If you're the therapist, the one thing you're not going to do is intentionally say triggering remarks to infuriate and enrage the kid even more. That wouldn't be a prudent decision. What would probably happen is they'd understand this is a delicate situation. The parents want this kid to be here. How can I maximize this time and not waste it so we can try and help this kid out? Now, there might be tough discussions that take place that might expose some different underlying issues. But at the end of the day, you're not going to make kind of incendiary remarks that are going to trigger and enrage the kid, because that just wouldn't be productive. And to me, when I see this situation again, with Ben Simmons, it's not that I have a problem with Doc Rivers saying, get the hell out of here if you're not going to play. And I don't necessarily have a problem with, again, the players feeling the way that they do. My problem stems from the fact that if you know Ben Simmons doesn't want to be there, Daryl Morey, and you're the organization, don't put that onus on Doc Rivers or on the other teammates to force them into a situation where they have to call him out, where they have to say, hey, we need you to get out of here if you're not going to participate, when you knew that was going to happen all along. You knew he didn't want to be there. And though you didn't technically force him to come, you basically presented a situation where he was extremely incentivized to show up simply to collect a check. He did it. And then the minute he gets on to the facilities, Doc Rivers decided it was a smart thing to do in practice to single him out to participate in a drill. He said no. You ask him again, he says no. So was that surprising to anyone? It wasn't surprising to me. So to me, this was a completely avoidable situation. And I think that the 76ers, and especially Daryl Morey, first of all, they've mishandled this situation, I think. And they also need to treat it more like the way the Brooklyn Nets have treated the Kyrie Irving situation, which is a paid exemption. We're paying you, but we don't want you anywhere near this team. Now, obviously, it's a little bit different. The players may not feel as much hostility or animus towards Kyrie as perhaps the 76ers players now feel towards Ben Simmons. But the idea is the same. If you're not going to be a part of this team, then we're not going to treat you like you're a part of this team. And I just thought that approach was not the right approach at all. Daryl Morey, I thought, made a huge blunder, and he should have traded him a while ago. And unfortunately for Daryl Morey, reality, I think, is starting to set in. Hey, I'm not going to win this trade. Whatever this future trade is, I'm not going to win this trade. And you just got to accept it. It sucks. It's not a deal. Doc Rivers is a good person. The 76ers, I like their personnel. It's not right. It's not fair. They're justified to feel the way that they are. And Ben Simmons is in the wrong as well. No one's right here. Ben Simmons is not acting maturely at all. And it's fair for his name to be besmirched. It's fair for his name to be ridiculed the way that it is for how he's acting. But I also don't think that it's an intelligent decision to exacerbate a situation even more and make it an even more unsafe situation. So, Joel Embiid referenced, we don't get paid to babysit. Well, what do you do with a baby that's crying and being a nuisance all the time? You put a pacifier on it and you put it back in the crib. That's what you do. So I just don't really like the way that Daryl handling the situation. Overall, I blame him. I don't blame Doc. Overall, I blame Daryl Morey for the situation. They got to do something with this.